What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. You know who it is, your boy John.
And the White Belt Slayer is here.
He's returned.
I've returned. We're in a different place today. We're at Murillo Judo in Norco, California with Sensei Juan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
So this would be 100 episodes for us, but we take these ones out, right?
Yeah, these are our Path to Black. I think this is probably our 10th or 11th episode. So we do these special edition videos where we can get like black belts and, you know, kind of just introduce.
Oh, okay.
It's cool to see people's path and their story, right?
Absolutely, yes.
From the beginning to the end, right? And so we try to have a different setup for that than our normal episodes. So almost 100 episodes, but
this is not. Last week was 99, so this one's going to go on a separate one, but this is our 100 episodes celebration.
Yeah, oh, nice. Let's celebrate.
Yeah. All right, let's get it started. So
introduce him.
I did.
Oh,
maybe.
Well, like his like just
that's what I'm starting. That's where I'm going, dog. Come on.
Whoa.
Jeez.
There's a lot of editing you guys get to do on these.
Oh, no, we leave this stuff in.
Leave this
oh, really? Yeah, we don't edit this out.
Anyways, cheers, my friends.
Salute, cheers.
Also, just a good cheers to get this thing started. So
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is 5 o'clock somewhere. If you're watching this, it's probably 5 o'clock.
So let's start from the beginning, Juan. Where are you from?
So originally, I'm from Dominican Republic. That's where I was born. And then I came to the States when I was around 13 years old. Moved over to New York with my family. After that, I joined the military in 2002. I joined the Navy.
Let's start right there. So you're from the Dominican Republic. I don't know anything about like those island places. Do they speak English there?
No. It's a Spanish-speaking country.
So when you came to the United States, did you speak English yet?
No, not at all.
So you did two things at once. You moved to another country, and you had to learn the language.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. And the funny thing is that when we came to the United States, myself and my sisters. Yes, we didn't speak English, and then we moved to a very Dominican-populated area in New York City.
Oh, so you lived in the city too?
Yeah.
What city? What part of the city did you live in?
Washington Heights.
Oh, wow.
At first, yeah.
Yeah.
So English was not really necessary for us.
Yeah, because you were in that community.
Yeah. Correct.
Oh,
so,
yeah. So you didn't even try to speak English?
No, there was no need.
Yeah.
I mean, we go to school and we were taking like ESLs, like English as a second language. Man, this is back in 1995.
So I was in English as a second language class around that time too, but I spoke English. No one else did.
No, so we went through the whole process of taking all of our high school classes in English and Spanish predominantly, and then when I got to high school, everything got a little bit more complicated because now I kind of needed to speak English because I was way out of the area, and then when I joined the military. That was really hard because I really spoke no English, so I had to learn it.
So that's where I wanted to go with it. So did you do any martial arts before you joined the military?
No, not at all.
No?
I played around with my cousins and my friends, just like kicking and punching. Yeah. You know, this is back in the days, the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
So, but before that, I never did any martial arts.
So you went from moving to the Dominican Republic to New York. Then when you were 18, is that when you went into the Navy? You went in the Navy, right?
Yes, I went in the Navy in 2002, so I was 19, almost 20.
Wow. I didn't put it together till just now. I knew that you were from New York, but you were in New York during 9/11.
I was.
Was that one of the reasons you decided to join the Navy, or?
No, funny enough, I had signed up in what they call the delay entry program.
Yeah, I know what that is, yeah.
In August 2001.
So a month before.
Yeah, a month before. And then everything happened, but I still joined just because, I had a few options. Either I stay in New York and live the New York lifestyle and do the same thing that everybody else is doing, or try to do something different and gain some different knowledge and perspective about the world and life. So that's why I decided to join the military.
What do you think your ability to speak English was when you went in the military? If you had to give yourself a belt, what belt were you in speaking English?
Do they have a negative stripe? Yeah. No, actually. So we had the drill instructors or the drill sergeants in the military, and he told me clearly when I was in boot camp, the biggest problem you didn't speak English. So he would talk to me, he would give me all these commands, but you have to repeat it and kind of like do the hand gestures and stuff like that because I didn't understand what he was saying. I did understand, but I just couldn't put it together, like having conversations. So it was a little bit difficult because we really didn't. Need English in New York. So when I joined the military, now I really had to pick it up fast. So.
Wow. Yeah, that's super interesting. Did you go to the Great Lakes? Is that where your boot camp was?
I did, yeah.
Where did you your first station?
It was so after boot camp in 2002. I went to Pensacola, Florida, for specialty school.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, I went to the USS Kitty Hawk, an aircraft carrier in Japan.
We were talking about that earlier. It's funny.
So my brother was in the Navy, and then when I was growing up, all his friends were in the Navy, and his one of his best friends who lives with us was on the Kitty Hawk.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've been on the Kitty Hawk before.
Really?
And he was on the Kitty Hawk when he went to Japan. So he was on it before when it was in San Diego, and then he was obviously on it when he went over to Japan.
Huh.
But your brother's older, right? He's like in his 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. He retired. The guy that we're talking about, he retired from the Navy.
The service. Yeah.
Probably like 10 years ago, something like that.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So he was in the whole time though.
Yeah. He did. I think 30 years. Yeah, something like that.
That's interesting, like how big the world can be and how small it is. Do you know how many people were on the Kitty Hawk when you were stationed on it?
When we deployed, it was anywhere between 55 to 5,700 people.
Wow, that's a lot of people on there.
Well, because you
One
have
of the biggest ships that was out.
at that time. No, actually, when I was in, it was the smallest because we were conventional carriers. We still had steam.
Really?
Yeah, it was non-nuclear.
Wow.
And they have the sister ship, right? The Constellation or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was called. Basically the same exact ship.
Yeah. So no, but the when we deployed, you had the ships attached people, and then you had the air wing. You know, all the squadrons that maintained the aircraft. They were stationed elsewhere.
Oh, okay.
So when we went out to sea, when we got deployed, like when we went to the Iraqi Freedom and doing freedom cruises and stuff like that, then we got them all in. So in total, we had about 5,700 people.
Wow.
58.
And where was that boat stationed at? Was it in San Diego?
No, we were in Yokosuka, Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went from Florida to Japan.
Correct.
And that's where the martial arts journey starts.
Yes. Yeah. You know, that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
That's when it started.
So did you live on a ship or did you live on a base?
It was on the base, but we lived in the ship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause,
so it was like at a port at the base.
Correct.
But you lived on the ship.
Correct. And it was different how it was before. I don't know if it's still the same, in Japan. I know it's different here in the States. Like you have so much freedom here to, you join
Go get an apartment or like,
Correct. Yeah. But in Japan, they're very strict on following certain rule sets because of different agreements and stuff. But when you are a certain rank, you cannot live out in town.
Oh, okay.
Because at that time, back when I was in Japan, we had what we call the Cinderella Liberty, which everybody had to be back inside the ship by 23:59. And if you weren't back in the ship,
You turn into a pumpkin?
no, they would turn you into a pumpkin because they would put you in restriction. Yeah. So everybody had to be back in the ship by 23:59 every day. So it was until you made a certain rank, you were not allowed to actually stay out past midnight or even get a car or even get a place out in town or whatnot. So I lived in the ship pretty much my first 3.5, 4 years when I was in the Kitty Hawk.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time. You're basically little bunks, right?
Yeah.
You're tiny.
That's
the size of this mat, actually.
That's a long time.
A little bit narrower, not as wide.
That's crazy. So you went to Japan. What year was it when you went to Japan? Was it still 2002 or was it 2003 by then?
December 4, 2002.
So how, with that being said, where you're like limited to not being able to like probably you have a car to travel far, to not really stay off of the ship, or you always had to go back. How did you like fall into judo?
So when I first got to Japan, I mean, all we wanted to do was just hang around, just have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy the Japan life and see the many different things.
Yeah.
Eventually, I met this friend of mine. We can say names, right?
Yeah.
So I met this friend of mine.
It's up to you. If you don't want to say his name.
No. We actually stay in contact, and there's a funny story. I'm gonna tell you about this later. But I met this friend of mine named Marion Stanley, and really cool dude that we used to work out together, used to hang around together, and we became. I mean, everybody in the military becomes brothers.
Yeah.
You know? So eventually, we started going to this place called rodeo style. And rodeo style was about maybe 5 miles away. So we'll hop on the train and we'll, get to the place to train. And they had judo, boxing, kickboxing, and jiu-jitsu. Old school jiu-jitsu, right?
Japanese jiu-jitsu.
Japanese jiu-jitsu, yeah. So I remember we used to walk into the place and they had all this gi, so you can take the gi, put it on, but it was all sweaty and
It wasn't gi service. They weren't fresh.
Oh no, you just put it on if you want to. No, but I mean,
we got some over there. You can put one on if you want.
Yeah, so you put it on if you want to. And this is back in 2003, right before we deployed to the Iraqi Freedom. And so we were going to that place called Rodeo Style, and I remember at that time, the guys, since they knew that we were military, they treated us very nicely. I mean, they're Japanese, so they're beyond nice, and but they didn't speak any English at all. So
you didn't speak English either, though.
No, by that time I was way better than I was when I first joined the military. But so we were going to train, and it would be a 3 to 4 hour class, but we would do everything in one day: judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, and kickboxing, all in one class, right? And we just transition from one to the other one. And then one time, maybe half a year or a year into me going to that place, I messed up my shoulder, my left shoulder, throwing a hook. And my shoulder just gave out, so I kind of stopped going as much. And on base, they actually had a judo program. And I just happened to stop by just to check it out. I checked the judo program on base. I'm like, oh man, this is different. Like I knew what it was because we used to do it at rodeo style.
Right. Throws and stuff.
Throws and punching and kicking and doing different maneuver and joint manipulation and whatnot. But now it was fully dedicated to judo, like judo only. So when I did it, I'm like, oh, this is way different because now you're not just telling, the instructors are not just telling you, go fight.
Yeah.
Is that what it was at rodeo style? It's here's a punch, now go fight each other.
Oh yeah, you get the gloves, you put the gloves on, say, okay, you two just go at it. And we start punching each other. Me and my boy, we just we were rough.
Yeah.
And so when I started doing it on base, it was like a trial thing. And that's when I fell in love with judo because now I can understand the complexity of what judo really was, where one technique is not really just one technique. Like one technique is so complex that you can branch out and just make it so diverse and you can just exploit and have fun with one single technique.
What do you mean by that? Like different entries, or like what do you mean by like taking a move and branching it out into many things?
Yeah. So at first to me it's like it was okay. We're doing the say ponce inage, right? So you go in, put the arm under the armpit, and turn. But it cannot be the same. It cannot be done the same way when I train with you, or when I train with you, or when I train with somebody who's taller. So when you start understanding how to actually use these movements with different people, different body styles, different speeds, all that, that's when it becomes fun. And it kind of goes back to the essence of judo, of understanding that it's the whole maximum efficiency, minimum effort. But one technique cannot always be done the same way with everybody.
Right.
So, and that's what I started understanding when I started doing it on base, and it was only judo, because now we concentrated on one technique and different entries and different ways to break balance and different ways to push, different ways to pull, just different.
Different setups.
Different setups, everything, different grips, how to move around your partner. It wasn't just put on the gi and just go at it. Yeah.
So when you started doing this judo program on the base, was it taught by another military person?
No, it was on base was taught by a Japanese guy.
Oh, okay.
But in Yokosuka base, when I was doing it in Yokosuka base, it was just random. It wasn't like a set program.
Okay.
So we would do it like sporadic, especially since I was deployed most of the time, because I was on the Kitty Hawk was considered a forward deployed carrier. So we would go out at sea for 3 to 4 months, come back, and we'll be on base for 2 months, go back out for another 3 to 4 months, come back in for 2 weeks, go back out. So it was a lot of this. But in 2003, sorry, in 2003 we went to dry dock, which they did like complete overhaul of the ship. So that's when the fun really started, because now I was actually going different places and training at different Japanese schools, like off base, just random, just dropping in random schools, and I was getting my ass kicked.
So when you start, I know how that is. when you started dropping in other schools, so you started with this rodeo style, which was like a bifurcated MMA. They were teaching everything, but it wasn't mixed, right? It wasn't mixed together. We're punching into wrestling, into takedowns, into submissions, or was it?
It was for the ones that were like committed.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of really good guys there, but the ones that were committed, then yes, they
were doing MMA.
They were doing everything.
Yeah, and then you started training in a judo program, and then you started branching out and going to the other judo schools around the area you lived in. Did you have a belt by that time, or were you still just a white belt going in?
I was still a white belt until I went to Atsugi base, where the squadrons, where the air wing, all the airplanes and stuff was at. Until I went to that other place in 2007, is when I really actually just concentrated 100% in judo, nothing else.
So you kind of sporadically trained for 3 or 4 years. Then you got stationed somewhere else while they were on dry dock.
No. Okay, so 2003, I was still in the carrier. 2004, 2005, 2006. So from 2003 to 2006, I was training sporadic at different places.
Okay.
I'll go to rodeo style. I'll just drop in at different places that were training. And it was a little tough going to different places because, one, the language barrier. Two, they don't know who you are.
Learn something different every time.
Yeah, and then it's kind of a little bit disrespectful now that I've been doing it for so long, and now looking back at it, it was a little disrespectful on my part to just go from your house to your house and that house and that house and that house and that house, and never have a actual place that I can call home, which is why I tell some of the people that I train with, loyalty to your place, to wherever you're training at, should be number one. You can go train at different places. Absolutely, you're more than welcome, but you always have to have a home. And I didn't have that. So now looking back at it, it's like I should have not done that, but I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I didn't know any better. I just had a lot of energy. I just wanted to, have fun. So. Yeah.
So you started training at when you moved to this other base. You went to a school, and that was like your home base. So that was like your school that you trained at, or were you still training everywhere else?
No. Yep. So when I went to Atsugi in 2007, that's when I found that they were actually the first thing I searched for was judo program.
Yeah.
I wanted to go out in town, but I didn't know anybody around that area. So I found out that they had a program that was sponsored by NWR, the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation for the military, and it was free. It was a free program, and it was a really nice room, maybe the size of the yellow mat area. And so when I started training there, we were training twice a week, and my sensei that I started training with, his name is, they call him Rocky, which is I have the picture.
I have the pictures, yeah.
Yeah, the older gentleman. So he was the first sensei that I had, and then he would look at me, he would tell me, "You suck." So you suck. But he's kind of Americanized Japanese. He had been around the American people for a very long time. He used to work with American people and all that. And then I met his protege, which is my sensei. Now he's my sensei, Miura sensei. And after I started training with Miura sensei, maybe a month into me training at Atsugi base, then he invited me to go out in town to it's called Yamato City Judo Club, which is part of the city, like a recreation area. Right? It's a let's call it the community center.
Yeah.
Here in California, the community centers here, and they have all these different programs that you pay for. So it's basically
like a YMCA.
It's like, there you go. It's like a YMCA.
Yeah.
I've never been to a YMCA.
Let's I want to stop right there to talk about that because I want to talk about like judo as a whole. I don't know if I actually said this earlier. Juan is a second-degree judo black belt in Nidan, right? Third now.
Third degree, yeah.
What, Sandan?
Sandan, yeah.
Yeah. So you're a third-degree judo black belt. You've been training judo for years. But it's different in Japan. Like, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but I don't know if people know this. Judo is the second biggest sport in the world. The only sport that's bigger than judo is soccer. So when you go to other countries besides the United States, the cities or the states or the government sponsor these programs, right?
Yes.
So that's what you're saying. So you went to like a community center
Correct.
that the city paid for, and they had a judo program that everybody
Correct.
could train for free, right? Is that what? Or very cheap?
Very cheap. Very cheap.
Yep.
Very, very cheap. You see, the thing is, something that I'm sure you already know, but I think we had this conversation before. Judo in Japan, it's not just a sport. It's literally part of their culture. It's a way
So
of
everyone
life.
trains judo at some point.
You could say yes.
Yeah.
You can say the majority of people do train judo at some point of their life because, you know, you have all these programs that are available throughout the country, and then they teach it at school. You know, from elementary to junior
They
high.
teach it at elementary school, like for like PE.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
I don't know if it's for PE. Don't
But
quote me on it.
they have it.
But
in
they have the
school.
judo pro. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So then the high schools, and of course you have those major college like Tokai University.
It's like they're wrestling.
Yeah.
But they have wrestling too in Japan, don't they?
Oh,
Yeah, they have a really good wrestling
they got all
program.
these medals.
Yeah,
this
that's what I
last-
thought. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's basically what it is. You know, they have it's part of their culture. It's not.
A hobby. It's part of the lifestyle.
This is going to be kind of like controversial, but it's not a monetized thing in Japan.
Yeah.
Over there, it's more of a.
it's almost like a religion. Everybody
yeah,
does it.
We could
Yeah.
put it like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like the religion. It's part of the culture. It's part of the way of life. It's
Yeah.
something that they do because, in their walk of life, they got to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
that's what I saw
Yeah.
when I was there.
So you started training at this city program with your sensei. He took you out of the little spot you were at, and you went to a bigger program to
Yeah.
start training there. So were you still a white belt at this point?
Oh yeah, I was still a white belt. So the way training in Japan, like just getting your belt and getting ranked up, it's not the way that it is here. That oh yeah, you know what? I think you're a yellow belt, or I think you're this, or I think you're that. You have to show that you're worth it, basically. So I had to do some competitions. I had to help out, just clean the mats.
Yeah.
You name it, everything. You know, because it's not. Yes, it's a city program, but at the end of the day, it's your house. Just like I was saying before, the
Yeah.
whole loyalty, you got to find a place you can go home and all that stuff. So you got to maintain your house. You got to take care of your house. You got to.
It's kind of been about that old school martial art traditional learning respect and
Oh, yeah.
discipline and that's all ingrained into
Well,
it.
Yes.
It is the old school martial art.
Yeah,
Judo's
yeah,
not
yeah.
that old, but it comes from the original Japanese jiu-jitsu, which is ancient,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
From
Yes.
the samurai. Not ancient, but it's very, very, very old. And
Yeah.
that's where the terminology like martial arts comes from. Comes from this part of the world.
Yeah.
These people developing these arts. So it is martial arts. So you were lucky enough to learn it in the home of martial arts.
Yes.
So not only the home, but the home of all martial arts and the home of judo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I trained at my new spot, or the spot that I decided to go home for about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. But I mean, I have been training already for a long time, and I've been competing for a while. We used to have some special training every now and then. We used to do like this big, massive training on a Saturday that would be pretty much all day. And while we're training, you have all these different clubs from different parts of the city or from different parts of the country, and they come and train at the city where I was at. And I mean, you're talking about 7, 8, 9, 10 hours just training.
Wow.
And-
Was it a big facility?
Oh yes, it's huge.
How many people do you think were on the mats on those days when they would come?
Oh, on those big days,
Yeah.
around 200, 300.
Wow.
Man.
All training at once.
Oh no, but it's like you have one, it's like an influx of people.
Waves of
Yeah,
people,
waves.
yeah.
One wave comes in, then that wave leaves, and the other wave comes in,
Yeah.
and that wave leaves, and it's like,
And on the days that you had the ability to, because you were still in the military, you still had a job and everything, right?
luckily I was on base and I was already at a higher position. Yeah.
So
So I-
did you stay those whole days, like those 8, 10-hour
Yeah.
days? Wow.
Most of the times I did, because they only happen like once a month or so.
Okay.
But when it happened, I try to okay, so because you gotta think about, like, when I was there, there were not many Americans, especially there were not many foreigners outside of the base that were training this Japanese sport. You know, not only that, a lot of us, especially in the military, we only have some things in mind, which is go outside, have a few beers, go out. You know,
chase and tell.
Yeah, chase women. Yeah.
So and then.
Luckily, judo's not all day. You can still chase women afterwards.
Well, you see,
if your body's working,
if you're not broken.
if you're not broken, yeah.
True. So we like, I would go out and I'll stay doing these events, and I used to plan it out. Like, my wife now, my girlfriend at the time, she met me when I used to be into drifting. I don't know if I told you. I used to
You had that RX-7. That's sick.
Yeah. it's in the garage. It's my
I'm
Ferrari,
surprised
man.
you're not driving it.
No, I gotta do some work to it.
Is it not running right now?
No, it runs. I just gotta do a little few things. I gotta change the key, just minor things. So I'm driving my wife's car that I paid for.
On a tangent, you had an R34 too, didn't you?
No. I wish.
No?
I wish. No, I had we deviated from judo, but I used to have an S13, 180SX, RX-7, FD, S14. I had so many cars in Japan. And then now my friend here left his car, his R32, but it's at the shop now. So that's the one I used to drive for about a year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just romping around an R32? That's amazing. So I'm more of an American car person. I'm really a truck person now, but growing up, dude, I grew up in the era, we're all the same age. John's the oldest one here, but old ass.
Hey,
bitch.
appreciate you calling that out.
Old motherfucker. I grew up in the era of Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Las Vegas, and there's a lot of Asian people in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
And all my friends, I had all these friends that just had all these like crazy sports cars. I always loved like the imports. Now I've kind of moved past it because I've grown up as a person. And I started to like real cars.
So
No.
he's calling me now.
But
I'm still a child at heart.
That RX-7 you have is sick. I know it's kind of like a work in progress, but it sounds amazing. It looks cool. It's a really cool era for that car.
It runs. That's what matters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember where we're at, but so you started training in other places. At what point did you get? Because it's in the same Japan as it is here. It's white, yellow, green.
So for adults, so the belt system it's pretty much the same: white, yellow, orange, all that stuff. But for adults, after 21 years old, they don't look at it as you're gonna be a yellow belt. You're gonna be an orange belt. You know, because you gotta think about, like, what is judo? Just like I was talking about earlier, it's a way of life. It's part of the culture, right? So what is? Let's talk about what it is to be a black belt.
Okay.
For example, right? That's like the million dollar question. What does it mean to have a black belt? And not to talk bad about any sport or anything like that, but we know and we see it all the time when you have these kids that are 8, 9 years old with a black belt.
I'll talk that shit for you. Taekwondo is not real. Get out of here with that mall karate black belts. I will beat your ass.
There you go. Yeah. So you got these kids like 9, 10, 11 years old, 13 years old, you name it, right? So I always, like, some people come in and they train, I train Taekwondo. I'm a brown belt. I'm a black belt. How old are you? 13. And I tell the parents, can you
set your expectations low for about what's about to happen to your kid?
No, but I put it in this perspective. Can you rely on that person to kind of like give you some type of life advice?
Yeah.
That's what it means to me to be a black belt.
A real black belt.
Correct. Yeah. So it's not just on the mat, but it's outside the mat. You know, it's, having outside experiences and paying bills and card notes and all that stuff. So everything kind of comes together. So when it comes to the belt ranking, especially the way I went through it, I was a white belt for a very long time, and then I got my brown belt. I don't even remember when.
So you went from white to brown?
Yeah.
Because like the color belts, in my opinion, they don't really seem to mean much. It's like, hey, you continuously come. You're better than a white belt.
Yeah.
And they're like stripes in jiu-jitsu. So it's like
correct.
They're not meaningless, but they don't hold weight like a belt does in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. The first one that kind of matters is brown, right?
In a way, because in Japan, like even for me now, I can actually start getting called sensei. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm a third degree.
Oh, yeah, because even there, let me take that back. So the first belt that really matters is black belt. Because that means you're an official student, you're ready to go.
Correct.
And then the first 2 degrees just means you're an advanced student or whatever. Yes. Your 3rd degree, Sandan, is that what it is?
Sandan. Yeah.
Sandan means you're an actual sensei. Like what we would call in jiu-jitsu, you're a professor.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went from white, long time, then brown, I think 2009, 2008. No. Yeah, 2008. And then I competed, helped, did all these things, you know. But I didn't miss a single class. Unless there was something important going on, I was always training. My sensei used to have me go to this guy's dojo, go to this guy's dojo, go to this guy's dojo. And all these guys were inviting me to go to the club.
Mm-hmm. Would he call ahead of time and say, hey, I have one of my students coming?
No, because it was all part of the same...
Like association?
There's only one association. It's just the Kodokan.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like, that's controversial topic there. To how it is there, how it is here.
Can we talk about that real quick? So what is Kodokan?
So the Kodokan is the head of the beast, right? That's what judo was and what judo is. So it's like, so Sensei Kano, the one that started judo back in the early days, he created the Kodokan. From the Kodokan, you have all these rules and regulations and mandates and stuff like that we abide for. So in essence, you can call it the head of HR.
Okay.
Right? So the head of HR, but at the same time, there are the board of directors and the CEO and the COO and the CFO. They're everything, right? So anything that needs to happen as far as judo and judo rules and things that we need to abide by are done at the Kodokan. So when the Kodokan was created, is just like a jiu-jitsu headquarters. You know, you have the headquarters, and they have all these little branches that come off from all these headquarters.
That's the thing. As you're talking about that, I wanted to talk about it. It's like, so judo has like this fountainhead. They have the home, the original place for judo. It's Kodokan, and it exists still, right?
Oh yeah,
it's still there. So.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been there since 1890 something, whenever judo's founded, 1880s or whatever. So it's been there, it's been running ever since. It's still an active school, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's nice too.
In jiu-jitsu, they don't have that. There is no school. So even the original Gracie school is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. They've moved it and they moved it and they moved it, and then it bifurcated, and then like someone says that like
that's what like IBJJF was goal is to be the regulators.
The IBJJF stole all this from Kodokan. It's not original. They stole everything.
But I'm
saying
stole
it from Kodokan.
For jiu-jitsu, that's what they're trying to be.
But it's not, because why all of a sudden does Carlos Gracie get to be
right? I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying that's what their goal is.
That's the goal. But that's the thing I like about judo, is that there's a head of judo right now. It's one entity.
Yeah.
They kind of decide what's happening, but it's also been running the entire time.
Yeah.
It's not just someone who came in who was able to, not in a bad way, but able to manipulate judo to be the head of, or jiu-jitsu, to be the head of jiu-jitsu and decide the rules and decide all this, and then put it together and be the governing body.
Correct.
The Kodokan was founded by the founder of judo, the person who invented the sport.
Yeah.
And it's been
running ever since. Yeah. And they, for better or worse, decide what judo is and how it works.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So
you only have one entity, right? The only different entity besides that is the IJF, which is not the IJF. It's not the Kodokan because it's not in Japan, but the IJF is now you got the whole world. Right?
I didn't know that. I thought it was Japanese in the Kodokan.
No, it's international judo.
International. But I thought it was Japanese. It's not.
No.
Is it French or it's just nowhere?
I don't even.
Yeah.
That's part of the politics.
International.
Yeah.
That's part of the politic part that I don't get intertwined with. But so you got the Kodokan, right? So the Kodokan, which is, if you guys ever go to Japan, you have to go to the Kodokan. So it's a 7th floor building, and you have, administration building, little shop area, and you got this, and you got locker rooms, and then you have there's three training floors. I think it's the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. And the 4th floor is the main one that people use, and then they got one where you can rent it. I think it's the 6th floor. And the 5th floor is where they do all the major competitions and kata tests and stuff like that, when promotions and stuff like that. But they do not have, again, controversial topic here, they don't have Kodokan, and then you have Murillo, and then you have John, and then you have Pedro, and then you have one body that's governing everything. So everybody that gets a black belt in Japan, like myself included, my certificate is from the Kodokan. My sensei certificate is from the Kodokan, and he's been a black belt for almost 45 years.
The cool thing about that certificate is, like, in Jiu-Jitsu, you can register at the IBJJF and you can be officially a part of their book. But your certificate is in that book, and it will be there forever. Your name is in that book forever as a Kodokan black belt.
Correct.
So if you get, I don't know if you know this, but if you get your black belt in America, you're not registered in that book, right?
There's a way. I think there's a way now that you can actually do it. But don't quote me on it. So, but if you get your black belt here, you can actually go to one of these organizations, no names. You can go to one of these organizations, and you can have them kind of like
register.
Register.
Yeah.
So you got to do the whole legwork. But I don't know exactly how it works. I don't have to worry about it. So
because your certificate's on the wall here. If you ever come into a school, you can see it. It's like a copy of your page from the book that says that you are a black belt from the Kodokan.
Correct.
No one can ever take that away from you. You're always a black belt from the Kodokan.
Correct.
Yeah, that's amazing. You're probably, I haven't done a lot of research on it, but you're the only Kodokan black belt in Southern California, probably. Do you know any other people that actually got their black belts at Kodokan?
In Southern California, I know a few, but they're like, in this area, it's just me.
Just you.
You got some people in San Diego. You got maybe one or two people in LA. That's about it. Yeah. But me.
Are they running schools too?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But of course, they run schools and they have, they're older now, so they kind of like branched out.
Oh, okay.
So their black belts are the ones running
schools.
Yeah.
So you might be like the only actual active one running a school, teaching the school.
For what I know, myself and two more.
Okay.
One in San Diego and one in Orange County.
Okay.
That I know that were actually like.
J-Flow,
I don't know if he's a Kodokan black belt. I think he got his black belt in the United States. Do you know Justin Flores?
I think he got it here.
Yeah, because he's a part of USA Judo. He's like a big part of USA Judo. He was one of the coaches for the team and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he got it here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he got it here.
Yeah.
Most of the people those big good judo players here in the States. Most of them got it here, but luckily a lot of them had the opportunity to go train there. You see, that's the other good thing about the Kodokan. Like, you can actually go train at the Kodokan. They have this like exchange program kind of thing where you can pay in for lodging, food, and training. So you go in. If you ever get the chance to search the Kodokan Institute website, you see like all these white belts, Americans or foreigners, and they're actually in the exchange program where they're training judo at the Kodokan, and they usually run it for either a month, 6 months, a year, depends on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So a lot of actually, so Sensei Gary Golds, Gary Golds, his son trained at the Kodokan. I'm going to
Nathan, right?
Nathan Golds. Yeah, you have to know Nathan Golds.
I know who he is. I don't know him personally. I follow him on Instagram. If you don't follow Nathan on Instagram, it's like he's like the best follow on the internet. This dude rules. I don't know him personally.
Yeah,
he rules. He got his black belt at Kodokan though, didn't he?
No. He got his black belt here, but he actually got to train at the Kodokan.
Yeah.
And by far, and my judo is not good.
His judo's good. Don't let him lie to you.
No, my judo is not good. Okay, but by far, there are few people that I would say I stand no chance with. Nathan's one of them.
I was talking to Sensei James about that too, and same thing. He said he's never thrown him. He's never really gotten good positions. Nathan smashes everyone.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan and I, we go at it, but I mean, Nathan started when he was like this big.
Yeah.
And he got Sensei Gary Gold, so he's got all these little tricks and little position things that he can switch up. So even when I'm going with him, it's fun going with Nathan. And we always go at it. When we used to train together back when I used to go to Gary Gold's before I actually opened my academy, and we would have fun. And it would be fun because he used to be a little heavier before than he is now. Mm-hmm. But
I feel like it's the same with jiu-jitsu. Is when you have kids that join, they're fearless in the beginning. Well, even as they grow, they're not afraid to do things that you come into the sport at 20, 25. Yeah. There's some things you're probably not going to do.
Correct.
I'm not good examples. You're afraid to get
You're not.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah. You're not 25-year-old starting jiu-jitsu and then be like, I'm going to go for a flying armbar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But when they're kids, they do this. And then when they're 25, they have it down so pat that they're still doing flying armbars. And those are those little things that if you're never going to gain and you're never going to catch up on when they start as a kid.
Well, you see, I think that's when I think that's the thing with me when I started doing judo. I was in my 20s. Actually, I was 20 when I started doing judo. But even after I moved up to Atsugi, I was still young. I was still energetic. I was running. I was going to the gym. I was doing all kinds of exercises. I was, training 4 or 5 hours a day at the gym. I used to be.
You were pretty jacked. I've seen pictures of you.
Yeah.
You're still in shape.
No,
you were
fat.
jacked back then, though.
Fat. But no, so I used to train really hard, and I think I was 150 pounds before, but I had no body fat. And me and Marion, the guy that I mentioned at first, that's all we did. We used to run 4 to 5 miles and then go to the gym and lift weights. Mm-hmm. And so when I got to Atsugi and I started training and I competed and I trained at different gyms and I got my brown belt, my sensei said, you need to go to this other gym, you need to go to this other gym, you need to go to this other gym. People will come into my head gym at Yamato and they will invite me. Oh, please come to my dojo. Please come to my dojo. So I would show up to all these different gyms. So some days I would train 3 to 4 times a day.
Wow.
So I remember I used to ride a pedal bike, and I'll go from one gym to the other gym. So all my judo gi pants had like
the chain
grease on it. So, but I mean, that was because I didn't go to the gym as I used to, but I wanted to stay in shape and I wanted to build my endurance. So pedaling was the best way. And I mean, you're talking about 5 miles this way to one gym, then 5 miles this way to one gym, 5 miles that way to one gym, and then go home.
And then before and after training. So before you train, you'd ride your bicycle to the gym. You would train and then ride your bicycle to another gym or back to your home.
Yes, no, I would train and then train and then train.
Yeah, so you were training
and then
training to the gym
and then train, yes.
And then training at a gym and then training to
Correct.
Riding a bike is not easy, especially when you've just got beat up in judo all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
so I used to map it out. Which gym am I going to go to? So I'll go from I'll finish work and I'll bike maybe half a mile up the road. There was a gym down the street. I love this guy because he used to drink. So all my judo moves, I emulated him. I copied all his moves. He was a pudgy, short guy, freaking strong as hell and fast. For his size, he was a little shorter than me, but for his size, just a monster. He was throwing people like nothing. So there's this move called ukiotoshi.
I don't know that one.
It's the first one in the Nagano kata, which is you're doing the throw without sweeping, without turning, without nothing. You're just doing it's a hand throw. So you're throwing your partner by using their strength.
Okay, as they're coming at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you maneuver correctly, you're able to throw your partner off balance and make them tumble and fall. Right? That's the first technique in the Nagano kata. I've seen him throw people like that.
With that technique.
Right? So ever since that day, I'm like, I want to be like him. I want to copy that guy, right? So since then, I've always told myself, I know that my judo is good when I'm able to do that technique effortlessly.
Yeah.
Right? So far, we're not there yet.
Still working on it.
Still working on it, right? Even if I'm 50 years old.
You're still working on it?
Still working on it.
Yeah.
But, so I always tell people, don't copy somebody else's technique. But somehow you're always going to end up copying somebody else.
Their style.
Yeah, their style. You're always going to end up copying it. At least some things. But in his case, the way he moved, he was fast. He was strong. He was nimble. And he was doing things that you wouldn't expect. So I copy those things from him. And never, when I trained with him, never did I feel what he was doing. Because of him is when I understood about the grips.
I want to talk about that. Let's save that for later. But so how long were you a brown belt for when you were training like that?
About 2 years.
So you were training, let's say, minimum twice a day.
Minimum.
For 2 years in order to go from brown to black.
Yeah.
And then once you, where did you get your black belt at?
At the Kodokan.
The Kodokan. Oh, so it was actually there.
So they have so again, it's the Kodokan, but you have branches, like different, like I'm not going to drive 3 hours to go to the headquarters, right?
Is that where it was like 3 hours from you?
For me, no. For me, it was like about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
Right? You know, I'm not.
Yeah.
You don't want to drive. I got to exaggerate a little bit, right?
Yeah.
No, so it was about an hour and a half from where I was at, but you know, they have this big
branch.
They have this full schedule because they're doing the classes for the exchange students. They're doing meetings. They're doing this, but then they have all these other branches. So I got my black. They have this other building, this branch of the Kodokan. It's a Budokan. They call it Budokan, right? In Yokohama. And when I went to test because we actually test.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. That's why I brought it up. So
we actually test.
Yeah, he said a second ago that what was the throw you said?
Ukyotoshi.
So that's the first throw in the Nagi no Kata, which is the black belt test, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you're training. I mean, you're training to be a savage and to throw people.
Yes.
When did you train for the Nagi no Kata? Because it's not like a jiu-jitsu test. We don't do them at our school. Some schools do them where they say, okay, you need to learn like these 20 techniques, and you should already know them by the time you're getting ready to test. But the Nagi no Kata is not about the throws. It's about like tradition of the sport.
Correct.
So you have to walk a certain way. You have to do this a certain way.
Yes.
You have to have an uke who knows the whole thing because you have to do it without talking, right?
Yes.
So, and how long did that test take when you did it?
Man, to me, it took like a whole year, man. I've been like in the same spot. It's like I thought I was there for a very, very long time, but I think the test itself, maybe 2 hours.
2 hours?
Maybe 2 hours. Because, so when you go in, I mean, for the process, by the time you put your gi on and you jump on the mat, you're talking about 2 hours. Because it's not just you and somebody else. When I tested, there were probably at least 200 people.
Oh, wow.
Testing at the same time.
So like 100 groups of people doing it? Or that's crazy.
So it wasn't just like, okay, like, let's say Murillo Judo students, you guys are getting tested.
Yeah.
And then you have Gary Golds, you guys are getting, no.
Yeah.
You have everybody from different clubs, right?
Is there a lot of failures?
Hell yeah.
Really? I didn't think about that, yeah.
Well, you got to think about it. It's like in the military, especially like in the Marine Corps, right? In the Marine Corps, you have like a point system, right? Mm-hmm. You start at 300. If you start failing your exercises, then they dock points, and then you don't make it because there's a cutoff. So the test is the same way. Mm-hmm. So when you go in, the moment you step into the mats, you're already being tested.
Yeah.
So that's interesting you say that. So the moment you step on the mats, you have to step on the mats in a specific way.
Yes.
And you have to walk across the mats in a specific way. When you walk into the building, you're supposed to walk into the building in a specific way.
Yes.
So in jiu-jitsu, a lot, the new school people are trying to get rid of the tradition, and it bothers me. And it's like whether you're from like an old traditional school like we are, like we're from Gracie Umaita, or you're from Gracie Baja, or you're from whatever old school. A lot of us continue to bow on the mats. And the new thing on the internet is to not bow on the mats, and let's get rid of tradition because we're fighters. That's what I really dislike about modern jiu-jitsu, is that people are so focused on being a fighter, they take the martial arts aspect out of it. Like, so when you walk into a judo school, you're supposed to bow when you walk into the door.
Yes.
Then when you walk on the mats, you bow again. You bow to the center. And one of the things I like about judo that's opposite from jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu has a tradition where if you're tying your belt, you should look away from your instructor. Mm-hmm. But in judo, you're supposed to look at your instructor while you tie your belts, right?
Why you turn your back to your sensei?
Why would you turn your back? Yeah. Also, why would you turn your back to your opponent? Yeah. Right. You should always be looking at him. So you walk onto the mats in a very specific way, and you're 300. You have 300 points. You walk in the door, and then you walk on the mat, and you walk on the mat wrong. They deduct you a point.
Yeah, because they're looking at. So when you walk, like for example, I remember when you came to train, and I told you every time you walk, you should hear this.
Yeah.
If they hear this, then they're like, oh.
Anybody that trains with me Friday mornings, I'm yelling at everyone. When we're doing the warm-ups, I'm looking for that.
Yeah.
Because it's like the traditional way to do it. And also, it keeps your base.
Yeah, it keeps your base. That's the whole
keeps your base. That's the idea. So I'm yelling at people, like we call it just inside and outside. When you're hopping sideways, basically, you should be sliding your feet as you do it versus jumping.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you don't do that during your Nagi no Kata, you start to lose points. Even when you're in between them, right?
Well, they're not like taking points from you
but
walking, but you know they already got you like a
mental note. Wow,
yeah, like a mental note. You know,
Yeah.
like when you're in school and your teacher says, "If I remember your name, that's not a good thing."
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
So when you're taking your tests and you're doing all these different things, and don't ask me who I got paired up with because I don't even know who it was.
Really?
Yeah, because remember you have
So many people.
all these different people from
That's-
all these different schools. You don't even know who they are.
That's
But I mean,
interesting.
you're kind of relying on them to be
So-
successful, aren't you?
Yeah, so-
if they're really bad, they're gonna bring you down.
Okay, so when I was getting ready for my Nagano kata, it was more like my sensei said, "Hey, start learning these things." Right?
Do you remember how many moves it was?
There's 15 moves. For the Nagano kata, there's 15 moves.
Okay.
15.
Yeah.
3, so it's broken down into 3. 5 faces, three moves each face. But my sensei said, you got to learn these moves, you got to do them correctly, you got to do everything correct, you got to do everything correct, you got to do everything correct, you got to do everything correct. So every now and then I would just like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And I'll take one of my friends from the class and we would train.
Drill it.
And we just drill it,
Yeah.
right? Just to see how I was doing. And then my other sensei, Rocky sensei, he would come by, he was like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just doing these moves that Sensei Miura told me to do. They suck. You know, it doesn't look good. You do it, because he used to do karate before. So he was like very strict.
katas, yeah.
Okata was just like his thing.
So
So,
did you notice the word nagi and no kata? It's the same thing.
yeah. So he'll look at the stuff that I was doing, he'll correct them, like little points here and there. Oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And I just kept on doing it. So when I went to do my test, it wasn't easy, but I wasn't scared because it was like,
comfortable.
yeah, you're comfortable. Yeah. So then when you, and this is like part of the whole judo thing where when you're training with somebody, and I'm going with somebody who's a little bit more experienced, and you might hear James say sometimes, oh, he made you look good.
Yeah.
So that's why.
That's part of it.
Yeah, because your uke, even though he's getting tested too, but your uke is getting tested on how he falls, and you're getting tested on how you throw. So if I do my throw wrong, but my uke fixes it and it looks good, then we're good.
Yeah.
But if I do my throw wrong and my uke does the fall wrong, then we both look bad.
Yeah. So when you're doing that, when you did your Nagi no Kata test, were you a Tori and a Uke in the same day? So you're really relying on your partner to make you look good, because because it's not like a throw when we're fighting. When we're doing randori, it's not the same kind of throw. You're doing these throws like a dance.
Yeah.
It's like a choreographed thing.
Yes.
So everybody knows the order of the moves.
Correct.
So you have to know, okay, he's going to do this move, and you're not creating kazushi during the move. You're like just like moving your hands. You're like moving your hands, and he's flying into like a perfect fall.
So let me tell you this. Okay, so we neglect, and we're going to talk about the whole anti-tradition thing, because I'm very against that myself, the whole anti-tradition move.
Yeah.
So when we neglect katas, and I always tell everybody that comes through the door, adults, that there's one school that I'm always, the only thing that I praise them about is the fact that they still kind of do katas in jiu-jitsu. Okay, only one school that does it, or one affiliation, I should say. I don't know of any other affiliation that does it. But in judo, if you neglect the katas, then you really neglect the technique in itself, because those 15 techniques that you do for the Nagano kata to get your black belt, it helps you understand how to grip, how to move, how to break balance without breaking balance, how to enter without entering, how to actually do the technique correctly, relying on correctness, not doing anything wrong. The moment you do something wrong, it throws everything out of whack. So, like uke otoshi that I was saying earlier, because when you land, you have to stay posted at a certain position. If you move, or if you get dragged, or if you fall after you throw your partner, then you get docked points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you do the technique, it has to be perfect, like this, right? So if you don't neglect the katas, and this is going back to the fundamentals. If you neglect fundamentals, then you really cannot progress on the whole process of martial arts in itself. So fundamentals are essential to growth.
I preach that a lot because there's a lot of people that can do like these hot flashy moves, but they lack fundamentals. So when you're able to defend their flashy moves because they don't have the fundamentals to back it up, you can just break them down. You can win basically at any cost because they're so focused on a flying armbar or something like that, but they don't know how to hold the guard or get out of the guard or hit some basic move. They don't know any society. They don't know any type of movement. They don't even know kazushi. Like kazushi is just a word we use, but it just means to off balance someone. It's a principle of jiu-jitsu as well as judo.
It is.
It's a main principle of both sports.
Yeah.
You have to create this off balance or kazushi in order to win basically any position.
And I'm glad that a lot of people now, especially in the judo world, because in the past it was a lot of animosity between the two sports. With judo is better than jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu is better than judo, especially here in the States. Like before I came to the States, I didn't know what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was.
That's so funny. I was telling John about that on the way over here. You never heard of it?
No, I never heard of it. If it wasn't because of Sean Roberts, I don't know if you know Sean Roberts.
I've heard that name.
He owns the sectors.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me. Yeah, Sector.
Affiliations.
Yeah. Sectors, there's one in, what is it?
There's one
Chino?
on the street. There's one in Chino. So Sean, me and Sean, we're like, what was that joke? Spaghetti and meatballs?
Yeah.
We've known each other for a very long time. And so Sean one day invited me to this, hey, come to the gym. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not going to expose Sean's judo secrets. No, but he's me and Sean, we pretty close, I consider him a really good friend. So he actually asked me to go to this gym before. And I show up and it says, Half Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I show up and say, hey, what's this? Now he's got a black belt. I say, how come you didn't have a black belt yesterday? So I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
What belt was he in judo at the time? Do you remember? Not black.
I'd rather not say.
Yeah, not black.
He wasn't a black belt. No.
Okay.
Sean is very. That's why me and Sean get along so well because we see things the same way. Okay. So Sean would rather earn it than be given it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why I don't want to say what belt he is. But I showed up and he's got a black belt, and I say, hey, what is this? You didn't have a black belt yesterday. So I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. It's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like Jiu-Jitsu, like Jiu-Jitsu, right? In Japan, Jiu-Jitsu. So yeah, but it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, what?
Yeah. What year do you think that was?
2014, 2015. 2015.
That's crazy. That's when you first heard about it.
That's kind of crazy because it's been in the UFC for.
Yeah, I'm not into all that.
Got you.
I see. Like I'm not. I don't follow like. I'm not a follower. Basically, I don't follow like this person and this person. I just stick to my lane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So because then when you have like this overload of information on things, and then
it's hard to focus.
It's hard to focus on your own. Because then. Like subconsciously, let's say, for example, I start watching, let's say, Mike Musumeci, for example. And I always watch him and his fights and the way he competes and the way he does things and whatever. If I watch him, at some point, subconsciously, I'm going to start trying to emulate his things, which I know I can't. Because one, we don't weigh the same. We don't have the same style. We don't have the same weight, body.
His flexibility, too, is on another level.
That guy's... Sean, have you seen Sean giving himself an ankle?
He can ankle lock himself?
Yeah.
Nice.
Freaking Sean. I don't know now because he's a little older, but that was like 5 years ago. Yeah. So when I met Sean and I went to at that time was Half Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, we called it the Blue Room. And I did Jiu-Jitsu for the first time, or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for the first time. And I showed up with a judo gi, like this big, and the guys looked at me and they're like, and they're like, oh, nice, look at this. And we rolled for a while. So I met a lot of his now black belts. I met them at that time. They were still purple belts, brown belts. They're all now black belts. And then eventually I started understanding or getting in tune with what the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was. So asking around to some people in the judo community here, say, hey, man, do you know this person's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Do you know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Like, oh, no. I was like, whoa, what's going on? So I started to realize what the animosity was between Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners and judo practitioners. There was this sort of, I'm better than you, 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 I'm better than you. But to me...
Which is still going on at some places.
At some places,
yes. On the judo side and the jiu-jitsu side. It's both going on.
Yeah, and I think that is like so bad, so wrong, because, you know, in Japan, when I trained in Japan, there was no such thing as what I didn't know what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was, again, right? But in Japan, when we trained, we did tachiwaza, which is stand up. You do all your techniques or your sweeps, your throws, hip throws, shoulder throws, you know, you name it. You do all your throws from your feet, standing on your feet.
What we would call judo.
Well, here in the States, we call it just judo, right?
Yeah.
But we, again, neglecting the fundamentals, right? The principles of it, right? But judo is not just stand up.
Right.
That's the misconception with so many people.
This is sports side.
We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. So judo is not only stand up and doing throws and doing leg sweeps. It's not just that. So when we trained in Japan, we did basically half of the time we did newaza, which is the groundwork part.
What we call jiu-jitsu.
What we call now jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Right? So, and historically, a lot of us already know how Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu came about. Not Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu came about. So in judo, we train stand-up and we train groundwork. Now, I would say that yes, in the States, the groundwork of any Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter from blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and black belt is a lot higher than a black belt in judo. Yes.
But it's interesting you say that, though, because a lot of times I've heard, like, overseas, you can get to black belt, or in Japan maybe, you can get to black belt if you're training consistently, like 3 or 4 years. Because a black belt is not super, like, coveted over there. But here, it's a little bit longer to get your black belt. Your black belt here holds a little bit more weight.
Yes, it does. Yeah. It does here because...
But it took you forever. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
Just putting that out there.
Just throwing it out there.
No, because, you know, like in Japan.
Well, seen at the beginning, just to start.
Yeah. If you're a first degree or second degree, you're still not a sensei.
You don't even get to stand in the front. You stand in the
That's
regular
the other
line.
thing. Like, you know, you have the there's a rule to sit or to stand in the mat, right? You got the liaison, which is usually like a 6th, 7th, or 8th degree black belt here, then the head instructor or the head coach, and then all the other black belts up to 3rd degree here. Then 2nd degree, 1st degree black belts on this side with the schmucks, you know, with the nobodies. Yeah. Right? So you're just a student. When you get your black belt, you're just a student. You're actually learning judo. This is when you can actually sit. Yeah, you can actually, because when you get your black belt, now you don't have to focus so much on learning the basics. Like by then you should already know the fundamentals.
It's kind of like getting a purple belt in jiu-jitsu,
yes.
where by then you know all the basics.
You know the language.
Yes.
Yeah, you know the language, and now you can actually practice it.
Yeah. So now when you get your black belt, you can actually start having fun. You can start putting 2 and 2 together. Okay, this works
setting
like this.
Things up,
yeah,
tricks.
Yeah.
And then you really understand the Kazushi part, which is like, I think it's what I lack. It's what a lot of people I train with lack is the ability to create Kazushi. Like
yes.
I was training something in jiu-jitsu a couple weeks ago, and I was helping a couple lower belts do a technique they'd never seen before because our professor's starting to go back to the beginning. Like he runs like a program, and it's a long program. It's like 2 years long. Mm-hmm. So he runs a program, and now we have so many new white belts that he's going back to the beginning and showing really basic moves, right? And I'm explaining these moves to people, and I was like, I didn't even know that I understood the move that much. And I was explaining to someone, I kept calling it Kazushi, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, he was showing, you know what Spider Guard is?
Oh, yeah.
Because I've seen you play it. I've seen you play it. So
I don't like it, but I do it.
So
I have to do it.
He was showing he doesn't like the traditional triangle where you push the hand and throw your legs up. Mm-hmm. He likes it from Spider. He's like, this is a more a high percentage submission go from spider.
It is, yeah.
So I was explaining the spider something to these people. I think it was a spider sweep or the spider triangle. And I was like, you have to move their head off the center line to get them off balance in order to do this. And they were like, what? What do you mean? And I was like, well, if he's postured up, you're not going to hit. You got to create kazushi. You got to get them off balance, and wherever their head goes, their body's following. Yeah. And I didn't start learning that until, now I'm at towards the end of purple belt. But I started learning that those kind of things at purple belt. And then when I started doing judo, it makes you think of the sport differently and then how they tie together.
So, and that's where I was going to get to, that I think that all these people that have this, because, what I was trying to say is, in Japan, we do both, right? We do a lot of groundwork and a lot of stand-up. So I wouldn't say that I get the opportunity to train every day in jiu-jitsu, but I go train as often as I can with Professor Jimmy at Checkmat.
Yep.
He's the one that promoted me to brown belt a while ago. But he knows, like, every time I train, I rely on my judo basics more than the jiu-jitsu basics.
But they're the same thing. Like I've rolled jiu-jitsu with you. You're not a brown belt. You're a black belt.
No.
I've rolled with you, and I'm sorry your sensei doesn't want to give you. I've rolled with hundreds of black belts. You're at that level. Same thing with James. James always asks me, do I feel like a black belt? It's like, yeah, dude, you've been training jiu-jitsu for 20-something years. Of course you feel like a black belt. So you've been training what we call Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu the entire time.
Yeah. Well, that's this is what, so in Japan, like I was saying, in Japan we train a lot of groundwork and a lot of stand-up.
Yeah.
Right? Unfortunately, this is going to be controversial for some people that might see it. I think that in the States, everybody's too focused, in the judo world, everybody's too focused on getting a good throw. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, I got a good throw. Oh, I got a good throw. Oh, I got a good throw. 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 And I always tell them, what if you don't get a full point?
If you don't get ippon. Yeah.
So if you don't get a full point, the fight still continues on the ground, right? And that's what we learn when we train over there in Japan, that you might get the throw, but you don't stop. Yeah, because the round is 4 minutes long, so you're still going to keep going on the round. You do the throw, you continue on the ground, and do your whole newaza work, which is jiu-jitsu, right? You do your whole newaza work to get a submission or joint manipulation or a choke or whatnot. But here in the States, a lot of the schools, unfortunately, they're only focusing on getting a good throw, and then after that, walk away.
For the competition side of things too.
Yeah, they're too focused on competing and getting points,
right?
Rather than
the martial arts
itself. Yeah.
So when you look at it, you were training both. You were training what we call jiu-jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You're training judo over there, and here it's all the tachiwas, right? All the standing up. Like a lot of people don't train on the bottom. When you were training overseas, did they call it judo? Did they call it Kosen judo? Did they call it freestyle judo?
No.
Because here we have a movement that's happening right now for Kosen and freestyle, which is jiu-jitsu with throws as a win. If you can win with the throw, but if you don't win, you can go to the ground. So did you guys consider it? That's what we're calling Kosen here, right?
Sambo.
Yeah, sambo. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure you guys know Kosen judo, right?
Yeah.
So Kosen judo, Kodokan judo, they had this feud long time ago. And eventually, Kodokan judo ended up coming victorious.
Being the winner of the feud.
They ended up being the winner, right?
Yeah.
But even still today, there's still some Kosen judo schools in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's still I think there's a university in Osaka, which is like far south side of the country. I think there's still a university that has it as a program. But this is why I stay away from the politics of the sports, because when you do that, it starts getting you into the whole anti-tradition movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, okay, good. We understand that judo, because of the whole Olympic Committee and the whole rule changing and all that stuff, and how we got to abide by all these different rule sets so we can please the people.
Yeah.
Right?
And we can compete.
Right? Yeah. So we want to please the people, and then since we please the people, judo can stay on the Olympics, right? Which is a good thing, I mean, if I had found judo younger when I was in, maybe
12 or 13.
Yeah, if I wasn't in the military, even in my 20s, if I was not in the military and I had found judo and I could have dedicated myself, I would have probably competed more and would have liked to be an Olympic champion.
Well, let's stop right there. So a part of getting to a black belt and then being graded at your Sandan or Nidan and Sandan, you have to compete. It's mandatory,
Yes.
right? So you can't just get promoted on time like in jiu-jitsu, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if you're teaching and you're in the sport, you should be promoted. But a part of the judo rule set is you have to compete.
Yes.
And competitions aren't like they are here, where they're like every couple months and it's an event you plan for. You're always ready, and you were competing every weekend, basically.
Yeah. So
every weekend you were doing tournaments almost.
that's pretty much how it is over there. So
Yeah.
the thing is, in order for you to get your belt, in order for you to get promoted to the next belt, or you have to get points. So I don't know if you've seen the scoreboards for the judo competition.
No, I've never noticed.
So in the judo competition board, especially now, they made it a little bit more simplified since we got a lot of electronic equipment now, right? But you have 1, 10, 100, right?
Okay.
So if you get a 1, it's like you get the pin.
Yeah.
Or not you got a Yuko, so you get like
A half throw or
a
something.
half throw, right?
Yeah.
So you get 1. You get 10 if you throw your opponent
For Ippon or?
for Ippon.
Okay.
Right. So every point gets tallied up, and that tally is how they're gonna be able to promote you, because it's a minimum requirement.
So like say you need 1,000 points to get your Nidan or something, whatever.
So you have a few options. You can either stay as a white belt for 20 years and then get your brown belt, or you can compete twice a month or 3 times a year or whatever and get 30 points.
It's very incentivized to compete if you want to.
So think about it like this. So in order for you to be an Olympic candidate, not a player, not an Olympic player, because it's
To qualify to
Just to be a
just to
candidate.
make
qualify.
the scene. Yeah.
Just to qualify to be able
try out.
Yes, just to be able to go to the training camps for the Olympic players.
Is this in Japan or in the U.S.?
No, this is worldwide.
Okay.
This is worldwide. You have to get points. In order for you to get points, you have to compete in all these major events.
So it's like going to Worlds, an adults.
Yeah, it's
You
very
have to get
similar. So in
points.
IBJJF, it's the same way. So if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want to
yeah,
compete
yeah.
at adult black belt, you have to compete at enough opens to get enough points and to qualify for the Worlds.
Okay.
Colored belts, you can just go in.
Yeah.
But at black belt,
belt.
you have to actually compete to make it to the black
Correct.
belt because they want to make the bracket small.
Yeah, but then that's what I tell. I have a few students. Well, I have 2 students that are just freaking good, and one of them said, "I want to be an Olympic player." Right. So I told the parents, "You need to save up $20,000 a year."
For him to go compete internationally, right?
Yeah, because think about it like this: if all these guys in the east, in the like eastern side of the world, like Asia and all those, like France, Russia, Korea, China, they have all these tournaments that are close by. They can go to all these tournaments, and they have them one every other weekend, right?
It would be like going from here to Vegas or here
Pretty
to
much.
Arizona. They're very easy to get to there.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's easier to qualify for a team over there, except for there's more
Correct.
people
Because
doing
you
it.
get to compete
There's
more
more people doing it, but there's more ability to compete.
Yeah.
Correct.
Versus here, there's no money in the sport and there's no points tournaments.
Right.
I did a points tournament, so like I actually got enough points to get an actual patch. But you have to compete at a USA Judo points tournament in order
Yes.
to get these points to be
Yes.
promoted or qualify to even
Yes.
train at
And
the
they're
Olympic
few
team.
and far between.
So
Yeah.
so when you compete at these tournaments, so let's say you and I, right? Or let's say all 3 of us, right? And you are in South America, I'm here in the States, and you're in Japan. Or let's say you're in Korea, right? In order to be able to be seen as a candidate, you have to be in the top 10, right? Okay,
So the point number doesn't matter. It's the top 10 of points. Wow.
right? That's how it is now. Before it was different because you had like
Doesn't that allow you to game the system a bit? In the sense
No,
that,
there's so many people.
well,
you
in the
can't
sense
game it.
in the sense that maybe you're not winning a lot, you're just competing. with
Oh,
someone.
no.
Not in judo.
no,
It's not
that-
like
see,
jiu-jitsu
that's
where you
the-
can go and there's nobody in your bracket
That's
and you get
the-
a point. In judo, it's like 50 people in your bracket.
that's no.
Yeah.
These tournaments are so freaking just insane, and if it is you got a big bracket, right? A big bracket. So let's say we're all 99 kilos, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to go to the...
Don't try to say you're above 200.
I know.
You got to be something to do something. You're minus 99.
Way
You're probably
under.
88, aren't you? Or 70?
Oh, I'm like under 73 right now.
Yeah, little guy.
Yeah.
Don't try to come in our bracket.
It's a little guy.
Yeah, all right, go back to your plus 99.
I used to compete at 66 kilos.
That's crazy.
That's what I used to
So
compete at.
142 or something like that?
140,
Yeah.
But so let's say all three of us were in the 99 plus kilos, right? But when they have all these tournaments, let's say we got to go to Abu Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi is going to happen in May 15th. So we all go to the tournament in Abu Dhabi. It's not just the three of us.
It's like 300 people.
It's a 2-day event.
Oh, wow. They're really...
And it's like the old, remember Prime back in the day that I fight you now, then I fight you next, and then I fight you. That's how it is. Everything happens within that time because you're going to do the whole competition, and there's going to be a winner. There's going to be a gold medal, silver medal, and a bronze medal.
And don't you only get points if you get first or second, too?
No, first, second, or third.
Okay, so you do get third points. Yeah.
That's it.
Back to what I said in the beginning, judo is the second biggest sport in the world. Yeah. It's not like here where like we think jiu-jitsu is so big. Because like if you do a world league in Southern California, you do a world league, there's 5,000 competitors and like 2,000 fans. It's crazy the amount of people there. But you go to like France, which is like the second biggest country for judo in the world, and they have judo programs in like YMCA's like you were talking about, and there's like 1,000 students. Yeah. All of those students are competing. Some of them are not serious, but there's a huge amount of them that are trying to make the Olympic teams. Yeah. That's why we don't have a good program in the U.S. It's not because we don't got good players. We just don't have enough players, and there's no money in the sport to compete internationally to make it to the Olympics.
So, see, we went into the politics of the sport. Dang it.
We can go back. We can go back to the story.
You know, so the politics of the sport is where a lot of people end up getting into heated discussions, right? Because me personally, since I've stayed away from the politics of it, I don't know much about it. But you got to look at it. You have three major organizations in the sports in judo, right? In the States, right? Mm-hmm. You got three major organizations. And just like I was talking about earlier, that you had that animosity between judo and jiu-jitsu, right? These three organizations within judo have the same animosity.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Right, within each other, right? So I asked myself, why? Like, why are they doing it? Don't they all have the same purpose?
The same goal.
The same goal. Yeah. Grow judo, grow the sport, help the future judo player to get better and maybe have Olympians, right? And then, unfortunately, because everybody's kind of like, my dick is bigger than yours kind of thing, you know, they're always competing with each other about something for no reason instead of kind of coming together. And this is why, like Professor Jimmy, Sean, those are pretty much it. Professor Jimmy and Sean are like...
Sean's from Peerless, right?
Sean Roberts.
Oh, okay.
Sean Roberts and Jimmy Tat. Those are the two main ones that I can say that those two guys, and I can always talk about judo or jiu-jitsu, and we're gonna see eye to eye. We see eye to eye on things because there's no animosity. We believe, we all three of us believe that in the States, you need jiu-jitsu to better your judo. You need judo to better your jiu-jitsu.
100%.
Right? Unfortunately, then we start talking about the whole anti-tradition stuff, and you have all these people that are jumping into the sport just because it's a trend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's big. That's big because of the trend of it.
Yeah, it's a trend, you know. So, does it help the sport? It helps the gym owner because it puts money in their pocket. They can feed their family. They can keep the gym running, right? Does it help the sport? No, I don't think it helps the sport because at some point
that more of like a fad.
Yeah, it's a fad. So
versus like people joining because they want this to be their lifestyle.
There's a small group of people in the U.S. It's probably big, but we would consider it small. That jiu-jitsu is a lifestyle. For a lot of us, it is a lifestyle. The guys that are friends, our kind of friend group, it's a lifestyle for us.
Oh, yeah.
We do everything together. But there's a lot of people who just come into the gym, they train one day a week, and they go about their lives. It's not for them. But judo, like you said, it's almost like a religion. It is the lifestyle.
It is. Yeah.
The people that are in judo have changed their lives to be a part of judo. And I think we need that in jiu-jitsu to make the sport grow, to keep it around. everyone keeps saying that the jiu-jitsu bubble is going to pop and then the schools are going to start closing. But it won't if we use tradition and we try to make it into something more than just killing each other.
But you know what the problem is, though, right? And I had this conversation with...
Well, I want to switch the subject a little bit, though. I want to talk about more about your school. So, this is where we started at. We're back. We started talking about other things. I think we'll probably try to get you on a second time, maybe in a couple months.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about.
Just to talk about more, because you've been training forever. You got a lot of knowledge. You have a lot of knowledge about the tradition of the sport and how it works in another country, which we don't know anything about, and not a lot of people here know how it works in Japan, right? So we'd like to talk about that. But before you came back to the U.S., you got to your Sandan, right? Your third degree?
No, I came to the States as a Shodan.
That's
a
second?
First degree. First degree, yeah.
So you came here, you didn't know anything about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So did you retire from the military when you came here, or were you still in the military?
No, I was still in the military, and I separated from the military in December 2012.
How did you end up in California? Were you stationed here?
I ended up in California because, so like I said before, I was raised in New York, but my wife is Japanese. So we had to find a medium to where we're not too far away from New York, but we're
it's close to Japan.
Correct, because from here to Japan is only 10-hour flight. But if it's from New York, you're talking about 14, 15-hour flight.
Plus layovers. There's always a layover, right?
Sometimes. So we decided to come to California instead, and that's why we ended up in California. But after Japan, came here, separated from the military, and then I moved. I was living in San Diego for a few years, and then I moved up here.
Okay.
A little higher, in Riverside.
Riverside.
The good old Riverside.
The Riv. So how did you continue to get your grades from the Kodokan? Did you keep going back?
No. It's crazy how it works, because right now, so I have two of the organizations. One, because I have the school, so I want to make sure that some students only get one, some student wants to get the other one. So I just try to keep both organizations.
You want to make sure they're graded legitimately,
Correct.
So you can keep them graded under both of the main judo organizations in the U.S.
Correct. So I have both certifications for both of the organizations for judo in the United States. In Japan, once you get your Shodan, then you go with your time, and all I have to do is just go back, and I still have to do the kata tests.
Okay. So there's one after Nage no Kata.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I think there's about 7 different katas, and you still have to. Gary Gold's tests for the katas.
Nanka will test you too, so you can go to Nanka and sign up just for a test.
Yeah, because they actually have training classes
really?
do.
I just sent you that video about that one guy, that YouTuber. He got his third Dan, and he did. He doesn't
karate?
do YouTube. There's this guy. His name is Seth. He just does a bunch of martial arts. He's stepped into judo, but his Sensei just got his third Dan, and he ended up recording that process.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was like 40 different. 40 different things, and then basically he just rolled with everybody over and over again until he was.
So you got
nothing.
So you got the Nage no Kata, which is the first one to get your black belt, and then if talking about katas, you got a self-defense kata, which I'm against this one, but some schools, especially in the jiu-jitsu schools, are charging a lot of money for this, for self-defense.
Yeah,
and is one of the katas from judo.
On that subject right there, so like. We're from Gracie United. Gracie self-defense is free. Like it's offered at all the schools, right? You can go to a seminar that they teach you, and there's like 100 moves that they teach you.
Yeah.
It's over like an 11-day period.
Yes,
it is expensive to go, but it's 11 days of training. Yeah. It's if you want it, it's worth the time, right?
Yeah, you pay for the time.
But I didn't know this until I started training judo. It's literally all the katas put together.
It is.
That's what the Gracie self-defense system is.
Exactly, yes.
So when you do like Gracie self-defense system 1, it's the Nage no Kata. It's identical.
It is.
Because I watched a demonstration of it with Hoyler Gracie and what's her name?
From
San Diego. She's like one of the best women competitors ever.
Yeah.
She's a 10-time world champion. She owns Gracie Mine at South Bay.
Oh, okay.
But he just walked up to her and said in her ear, "We're going to do the self-defense thing in front of everybody." And they just didn't talk and just started doing it for like 15, 20 minutes. He was there with me. And I was like, man, this is pretty cool. I was like, how do you memorize this? Then I got into judo and I was like, oh, that's not going to accomplish. It's the same thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people are monetizing on simple things. But I'm not saying that it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I don't condone it, right? Because if you really support the martial arts, then you should really just.
It's part of it.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
It's part of it. You come train, it's part of it. So you got.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off again. Martial is the act of war. It's not. Self-defense isn't separate from a martial art.
Correct.
The martial art is the self-defense. We've turned it into a sport that you can practice.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
It is self-defense.
Yes.
Everything we do is self-defense based.
Correct.
We just don't call it that anymore. Even that gay no-gi shit we were rolling around leg locking people, there is self-defense in there.
But it's better if you separate it because you can make money.
More money.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's what it's all about. If I can separate.
Well, money drives schools.
Correct.
Schools.
Yeah.
Grows.
So it's not that I'm like, oh, people shouldn't do that because some people got to pay rent.
Yeah.
You got to so to each their own. But I just don't see it as a morally, to me, it's not right.
To do it separately?
Yeah, to me.
You know, that's a good transition into like the next subject. Like I said, we'd like to have you on again in the future. But so we've talked about this before about like monetizing a sport. We don't have to go into it, but I don't think, or I hope that the general public knows that we have to monetize the sport.
Yes.
We can't keep it at $30 a month like it is traditionally in judo. It's got to be a real price for a couple reasons. One, it shows a commitment to the professor, to you, that you're going to want to come. It gives you a commitment to come in. And a good example of this is, in another lifetime, I used to sell guitars. And I had a lot of people that would come up to me, they're looking at $99 guitars. Then they're also looking at $1,000 guitars. And they're like, well, what's the difference between a $99 and a $1,000 one? And I said, you don't know how to play guitar yet, right? And they're like, no. Should I buy a $99 one? It's like, well, do you want to learn how to play? Yes, I really want to learn how to play guitar. Buy the $1,000 one. I actually make less money on it commission-wise because they're more expensive to buy. But you just invested in yourself. You gave yourself the reason to play it because you spent so much money on it. More of those people stuck with playing guitar. I couldn't say all of them, but
because it's cheap.
they stuck because they're like, look, it's a commitment.
Yeah.
The same thing in judo, and it's like whether you have to charge a livable wage because the rent here isn't free.
Correct.
The air conditioning isn't free. We're in Southern California. It's expensive. It's expensive as hell to run the air conditioning. Right. So like, and to try to create a comfortable environment for your students to come in, like. Cleaner is not free. People don't think about that. Cleaner is expensive, especially if you use like the Stericide or like the sterilizing cleaner. It's a 5-gallon bucket of it or whatever. They're expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And then mop heads are expensive. Swiffers are expensive. Like all this stuff is expensive. You have to have money in the sport so people like you exist. And it's like, not only are you offering us a self-defense or a skill or a martial art, but you're offering us an alternative way of life that we get to pay a very little amount for to broaden horizons. I know my life has been greatly impacted by training jiu-jitsu and training judo. Like, whatever I pay to train, I've outweighed and I've learned. I've got friends. I have a community now. I have all this stuff, and these gyms, they drive that. They drive community, and I think that's a huge thing that people don't realize especially when they got to pay every month. Oh, I got to pay $100 to train, or I got to pay $500 to train. It's like, what do you get for that money?
Yeah,
it's like you don't mind going out to the bar and spending $300.
And that's the one conversation that I had with many friends of mine in the judo community. Exactly that, which is, it's not that we charge. Well, it goes back to what I said earlier. Right? It goes back to what I said earlier, that we need to understand that in Japan, judo is part of the culture, it's part of the way of life.
It's subsidized too, right?
Well, the government is saying
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the government is subsidizing to get people into it. So it's much easier than here, where it's not.
Correct, right? So I tell a lot of my friends here that have been doing judo for many years, and the mentality is not wrong on their part because that's how they were brought up. So their mentality is that we should have this available for everybody. Well, that's great. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Available. It is available for everybody.
At a cost.
It is.
Yeah.
Right. And I tell them, like, now, see how the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu marketing tactics work. I say, yeah, it is available for everybody as well. Well, you got to pay the price.
You got to pay.
Because, you know, you have to buy new mats.
Yeah.
You have to pay for the AC. So
it's not a cheap sport.
Exactly, right? So and I make the analogy. This is the analogy that I make to people. Okay, I said when you go to the store and you have two different bottles. I mean, you got two bottles in the freezer, and one of them is 25 cents and the other one is 75 cents. Just the fact that you question, wait, which one should I get, the 25 cents or the 75 cents? And then you flip them around and they both have the same logo. You already questioned it. But 9 times out of 10, if they don't have a logo on it, people are going to get the 75-cent one because they're thinking it's probably better. You know, it's going to be the brand
healthier.
It's going
to
all that, right? Unfortunately, in judo in the States, I wouldn't say in judo, but in the United States, from my experience, we believe, and I'm adding myself to the mix too because I find myself guilty of it too, but we do not value our time as much. We believe that everybody should be just welcome and just train for free because judo should be available for everybody. But at some point we have to say, wait, I gotta pay rent. I gotta pay bills. How am I gonna pay for my own gas?
Yep.
So even for me, and I know, we want to talk about money here now, but even though for me, I know I don't charge that much here, but at the same time, I feel like I'm charging too much.
But I think you're less expensive than every jiu-jitsu school in this area.
Oh, no, 100%.
You're a judo school. You're focused on judo, but you teach newaza, and you advertise that you teach newaza. You have whole groundwork days and time where you do groundwork, right? So he is teaching jiu-jitsu, and you're advertised it as Murillo Jiu-Jitsu and judo.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu and judo, yeah.
So you're teaching both. So for what you're getting here is more valuable.
Yeah.
And you should have the ability to charge more just because the area. This is not a low income area. This is an upper middle class area. This area is very expensive. I think the average home here is probably $700,000 to $800,000 now.
Yeah.
It's crazy expensive. All the jiu-jitsu schools around here charge $200, $250. They charge a lot of money to train here.
I'm not even close to that.
Yeah, and I know what you charge. It's super fair and especially for what you offer. Like, I've trained with you. I've rolled with you. Like, I've seen the skill you have. I've heard you talk about the sport. What you're getting for that money is so fair. You should easily charge twice as what you should charge. And I don't think your customer base would go down. Yeah. I say it for you. But you're not. You also don't want to be rich. You want to further the sport. You want to give it to people.
That's my whole vision. Like, I actually had a parent the other day, and they just came in to try the class, and the little girl was just sitting on the side. She didn't want to try it out. She was like shy. And I told her dad, just bring her in. The exposure itself is the main thing. And I told her dad, even if you guys stick with doing this, right? And I think this is my downfall. My downfall and my strength, my wife tells me all the time. Your downfall and your strength is you're too nice. But I told her dad, like, bring your daughter in, just have her exposed to what this is, and then eventually she'll be able to come in. Right now, she has no confidence, right? So just being on the mat, doing this whole thing, interacting with the people, learning self-defense, being in a contact sport, just being aggressive, just letting it out, but at the same time, controlling it is going to build her confidence like that, right?
Yeah.
So I told them, like, if she's able to come in, get exposed, build her confidence, eventually what's going to happen? She's going to ask you to take her to ballet or gymnastics or have her play tennis, maybe do something. But that's my biggest reward.
So my kids do jiu-jitsu, and they started pretty much almost the same time, maybe like 6 months after me. But at the time, I was like, hey, why don't you guys do something else? Like, you can do whatever you want, music, whatever. I was trying to get my oldest son into wrestling at the time, and he just was like, no. And then so I was like, well, you're coming with me. Like, now you're doing jiu-jitsu. So they're in jiu-jitsu. And I was like, you have to do it a year. Minimum.
Yeah.
And then if you don't like it, then whatever.
Do something else, yeah.
Either way, now they're stuck in it. So
yeah.
I was like, psych.
Now you
just
can't
kidding.
Leave. Yeah. You can't leave.
So, but my oldest son, when he finally he got his blue belt, he was like, I think I want to wrestle now. And it was like because of jiu-jitsu, it gave him the confidence to go and do wrestling after that. So, what you were saying is it builds that confidence. It's pretty awesome.
What I like about that too is like I know his kids very well. They're both super introverted. One of them's super introverted. One of them's a wild man.
Yeah.
But his older son, he wanted to get into wrestling and didn't want to do it, started training jiu-jitsu, built this confidence as a person because he's a small kid. Like, don't look at us. His kid is a third our weight. He's a little guy. He's very good at jiu-jitsu. He's very good at wrestling. We went somewhere the other day. We went to a water park. All of us went to a water park. And he had a wrestling hat on. And he's like, can I wear this? Is it going to get ruined? Like, that hat meant so much to him. He didn't want to wear it in the water because it was going to get ruined. But it just shows, like, how you can grow as a person from making one change in your life. And it's not just one change. It's the change of adding martial arts to your
100%.
life. Like, martial arts is so important. Like, I've been training for years now. My wife trains. Every day we leave at the same time. And we come back at the same time. My kid always asks, where are you guys going? He knows where we're going.
Yeah.
So I ask him once a week, when are you going to come with us? When are you going to come with us? And I'm hoping one day I can get him on the mats because he's 16. He's got the perfect jiu-jitsu body, but he has autism, and he's pretty he's super high functioning.
Yeah.
And the amount that it can change your life, it's like that's why I'm trying to get him on the mats. It's not because I want him to be a killer or wanted to choke people. I want to give him something else in his life that I can't give him. Only this martial art can give him.
But I think the value in when we say martial art, specifically in judo, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling.
That's it.
They're hard. There's no way around it. They're freaking hard. You're going to get your butt handed to you. You're going to be sore. You're going to get hurt. And you have to have that mental ability to...
See you tomorrow.
Exactly. Even when you come in some days and you're like, man, that was miserable. But you come back the next day. And that mental toughness that these three martial arts give you, you're not finding it in karate. You're not finding it in taekwondo.
Not anymore, no.
And so I think that's the key to it too, especially for kids as they're progressing in it. They're doing something extremely difficult.
There's this Japanese judo player. He's older now, but his name is Yasuhiro Yamashita. But your guys' weight class, by the way.
Big dog.
Big guy. Yeah, he was 99 plus, right? He got the 84 Olympic medalist. He got gold with a broken foot.
Wow.
Right? So his life story is by far one of the best ones because he was not the best kid in the world. He was a problematic child and all that, whatever. And he put him in, the mom put him in judo. And at first he was like, okay, whatever, right? And then eventually he grew to love it, right? So then the sensei started noticing, see, this is like what us as instructors, coaches, and professors, we see all these things, right? Then his coach started noticing that he was actually in love with it. He was in love with it. And the mom just wanted him to let out some energy. And he kept getting in trouble. And the instructor told him, hey, if you don't behave, I'm going to have to kick you out of judo.
Kid started behaving.
Olympic champion.
That you said something earlier in the podcast about that. I wanted to bring it up to you, and this is the perfect time of it. So I agree what John said, that jiu-jitsu, judo, and wrestling, they give you this hardness that kind of builds you in life. But something that judo does that's different from the other martial arts is that there's tenets that go along with judo. You have to live your life a certain way to do judo, and they preach them throughout the things. You said it earlier. What's one of the main tenets of judo? Like the maximum efficiency and...
maximum efficiency, minimum effort, yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one is mutual benefit and welfare.
Mutual benefit and welfare, yeah.
So you have to rely on your partners to get through this sport. And it builds a community. It teaches you how to be a better person because you have to rely on your partners to get good at this sport.
Yes.
Not to be mean to me. So Misa's a great person. He's one of my best friends. I was showing him some technique that I know. He'll smash me in judo. He smashes me in jiu-jitsu. But he doesn't know about judo. He just sees moves online and he tries them. And I'm trying to show him a move, and the whole time he's stiff-arming me. And he's like defending something I'm trying to show. I'm not going to throw him. I'm just showing him like a movement. And he's like stiff-arming me and will not let me get this move. And I told him, I was like, hey, you have to stop. You have to allow me to do this move, otherwise you're not going to learn it.
And they're going to get hurt.
I'm not going to learn how to do it, and you're not going to learn how to do it, and we're not going to learn how to defend it. You have to do that, and that's taught in judo. It's taught.
Yeah, because that's what I was talking about earlier about the Naga no Kata.
Yeah.
I went in to do my test, and I didn't even know the person that I was partnered up with.
Yeah.
But he made me look good, and I made him look good.
Yeah.
And it's all about like both working together for the same purpose.
Yeah.
Like
well, mutual benefit and welfare.
yeah, actually, the best way I could put it, Masahiko Kimura, right? His training regimen was a 6-hour training regimen every day.
Wow.
Right? He had a purpose that it was to beat you up today. See you tomorrow so we could do it again. So if you ever see like one of his training videos, you got these guys doing like headstands and throwing each other really hard. And I mean, then he have this soft mats, you know, this like throwing themselves in clay. But they'll do it again. And that's what judo that's what judo is all about, right? That's what Sensei Kano did when he started doing judo. He chose certain moves that you can do it with your partner going 100% during a free fight or randori, right? You can go 100% with your partner during a match, and you can do all these techniques, and you can still come back tomorrow and do it again. Mm-hmm. So that's what judo was all about, right? You can train, go 100% with your partner, and if you guys both have that same mutual respect towards each other with the same goal, which is, I'm going to help you grow if you help me grow, and then we can come back tomorrow and do it again.
And that's why the fundamentals are so important, especially the fundamentals in judo. Teaching you how to fall, teaching you how to do all this stuff, because if you don't learn how to fall, you can't come back tomorrow. Mm-hmm. It's so important. Let's jump ahead. So this is not your first academy. You had academies before. You started at a community center in Eastville, right?
Yes.
And how long did you teach there for?
Oh man, I was there from November 2017 until January 2022.
Oh, I didn't realize you did that long there.
Yeah.
So you were there for like 5 years teaching judo at a community center.
At a community center, correct.
And then in COVID happened, you moved it to your garage, right?
And then I moved into my garage from 22 until 23, so about a year and some months, yeah.
And then you moved into this facility here now.
No, I moved to a smaller one.
Oh, okay.
It was about 50 square feet smaller than my garage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was. So I went from the community center to my garage, and I was in my garage for almost a year and a half. And then after that, I had way too many people, and I couldn't like play around with the schedule and all that stuff. So I got another facility down the street from here.
That you could operate more hours a day?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then had a little bit more privacy, you know, and then I didn't have to like.
Don't worry about your house and like.
Or your neighbors. You're hitting ki in there, and your neighbors are going all crazy.
That was my main thing. Like, you know, my family there already. Like my kids do judo. All three of my kids do judo. So they're all understanding on what has to happen as far as, you know, growth. Mm-hmm. So they were okay with me doing judo in the house, in the garage, but I didn't feel comfortable with the neighbors. Like I felt bad that the neighbors had to work around me. Yeah. You know, I didn't feel that it was right. Mm-hmm. So that's why I decided to just move out and open the new spot down the street. Well, not a new spot, the same judo club at a different location. So I came down here. And then eventually this place ended up overgrowing itself. So that's when I got this one, luckily.
That's awesome.
So
it's good to hear, see stories like that.
Yeah. I want to talk about the training a little bit as we kind of end this. So do you have your own style of teaching or methods, or do you teach like what the Kodokan taught you?
So to people that come to my class, they will see that it's very different from what they're used to here, right? Like we were talking about earlier, a lot of people here are just focusing on throws. But the way that I run my classes is kind of the way that I was taught before. But of course, you always gotta develop and grow and do something different, right? So it's not 100% the way I was taught or the way that the Kodokan is, because things change.
Yeah.
You know, you always gotta elevate your game.
Yeah.
So the way I do the classes are, yes, you start on your feet, then you continue on the ground, and the fight continues. So it's more of a realistic kind of setting.
So how long are you doing your rounds? Like 5 minutes, 6 minutes?
It all depends. It all depends.
Obviously, kids usually small, lower.
Yeah, for the kids, they go 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. For the adults, Sometimes, depending on the days, we just set no time limits until I get tired, even though I'm not rolling. But so when they're training, when they're doing their rounds, we set no time. They just roll. Other days we do like round robin. Some days we do short tank. Some days we do 4-minute rounds, 5-minute rounds.
It sounds very similar to what we do at our school, except your stand-up is obviously judo versus in our gym, it's like a mix of yours is obviously judo, wrestling, but the stances are more.
Do you allow leg grabs in your training?
The leg grabs, yes, but it's a little tricky. Okay, for one, the reason there's a little tricky, you have people that want to compete.
Yeah.
So the people that are, I tell everybody, if you're looking at competing at any point during your journey,
that's how you should train.
Yeah, that's how you should train.
So you don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, you don't want to grab the legs. Yeah.
Yeah, I had my son. One of his when he was a white belt, one of the first things he loved doing was Ezekiel's, and then he was like 12 or something like that, and so he went.
No, it's legal in judo.
Not in jiu-jitsu.
Not in jiu-jitsu.
It's not.
No, not for kids.
Not for kids.
Not for kids.
For kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so in his first tournament, first thing he does, he was like, "Bam!" I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You see, this is a good point because, so I have some friends of mine that they come train here and they have their home dojo is somewhere else.
Yeah.
But the home dojos, they know that they come train here, right? So even in Japan and pretty much everywhere, they do not allow kids under 12 years old to do chokes, right? In judo, in competitions. But my philosophy is, when are you going to start teaching them?
Yeah.
Are you going to wait until they're 11 years old to start teaching them?
That's very similar to like learning leg locks.
Exactly, right?
Why wait till you're brown belt?
Yeah.
Right? And then it's too late. You're always too far in.
We had a conversation about that on the way over here. It's how in competition you can't armbar anybody till brown belt.
Correct.
So when do they teach you brown belts in judo? Or sorry, when do they teach you arm bars in judo?
Yeah.
I learned it I learned it from the moment I stepped on the mat.
Really?
And I think our gyms like that and that's why my kid did that when he was competing is we don't necessarily it's like a weird area because they'll let the kids do certain things, they'll let white belts go for certain things, but you have to learn it.
Yeah, so and it's a little tricky like when you teach it and then you expect it to happen in competition, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
The whole competition side on judo and jiu-jitsu now is a whole different topic, and that could be very elaborate. But I think that we should teach everything, regardless what it is. If it's part of the sport or the martial art or the discipline, we should teach everything to them, right? At least the basic. You don't have to teach them like, okay, this is a setup for the arm bar, belly down, on their back.
That's where you start getting down that tree that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
You learn the basics, and then there's that tree.
Yeah.
Correct. So you teach them the fundamentals,
Yep.
right? Or your partner's on their back and they give you the arm, leg over.
Yep.
Now, from here, okay? You're not going to teach them how to, if they take their arm out, how do you recover the arm, or how to like roll over and do this. And no, but fundamentals. So if we get to the point where we can teach them the fundamentals of a rear naked choke or cross collar choke, like loop choke, every technique you can think of, if you can just expose them to the fundamentals of that technique, at one point it's just going to click.
Yeah.
During the rounds when they're here.
Yeah.
They're going to see it. They're going to be like, oh, wait, I can do the same thing from here.
So eventually with time, when they get to a competition and they're allowed to do it, it's second nature.
Yeah. So I follow on Instagram, so I see what you post. A certain day of the week, don't you only do groundwork?
Yes.
And then another day of the week, we were talking about it when we entered, this is what I wanted to talk about. So certain days of the week, you're teaching judo in general.
Correct.
Are certain days, are you focusing just on throws?
So every day we focus on throws.
Okay, every day. And
every day throws.
And then certain days you focus just on groundwork on the waza.
So the way I do it is, I'll on Wednesdays, for example, I will only teach you like sweeps on the ground or turnovers or chokes or set up for the arm bars or how to destroy the turtle. I hate turtle.
I need to learn that.
Yeah, just because I like to learn that.
Can you teach
me? I got a couple things in turtle that I like, but
So how to destroy the turtle position. If you're on the guard, how to break the guard. You know, all these ground basic techniques, that's what we're gonna go over on those groundwork days. But when it's round time,
Everything.
we're not gonna start on the ground.
Yeah.
We're gonna start on our feet, then get to the ground, and then hopefully when you get to the ground and you find yourself in that position that we went over, then you can exploit it. Correct.
So another day of the week, I don't know if this is new. I recently saw you posting about it. You have a whole day where you don't teach judo, you just do conditioning, right?
Yes. So
do you teach judo in those classes?
No.
Just conditioning.
Just conditioning.
What do you do in that class?
So right now we're doing it on a Tuesday, for example. What we're doing is we do a lot of calisthenic focus exercises, push-ups, jumping jacks, burpees.
In the gis?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Explosive movements, movement that will make you be in different positions than what you're normally in.
Right.
However, a lot of these exercises that we do, they can always transition into the they can always apply to the.
So they're judo-centric movements, or things you think would help your judo.
Correct. Most of them are.
That's what I've been trying to, because I teach a couple classes a week. I teach a teens class and I teach an adults class, and I'm trying to focus on that. Like, I'm not aimlessly having people run. Like when I have people, the only reason I actually make people jog is to try to get blood flow. Because I used to show a lot of throws in my beginning class, were the best I could teach a throw. And it's like, if you don't have any blood in your shoulders, you're going to throw on the ground, you're going to get hurt.
Yes.
So you got to have blood movement through your bodies, right? But then when I do like what we call inside and outside, make sure you slide your feet.
Correct.
This is not for fun. It's not because I decide I want to slide your feet. This builds your base as you're moving with your partner, so your feet aren't in the air and you don't get swept and thrown, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I tell them to do certain movements, like we call them karaokes. I don't know if you guys have any.
Yeah, we do the karaokes.
Yeah, so karaokes. And the karaoke isn't an aimless cardio move. It's the entry into the throws. The back step is the entry into the throws, or the forward step. Like this ability to move your hips and your hands and your legs independently.
They do it in football too.
Yeah, it's the same, but it's footwork. It's a footwork drill, right?
Yep.
So it's a footwork drill for judo. It's a footwork drill for jiu-jitsu, because you need to be able to cross your feet and move your hands independently of each other to hit a lot of throws. Like you have a throw that you like that you'll go like uchi into like a soto.
Yes.
Which are different directions, different styles of throws. You're creating kazushi in different directions in order to hit the throw. And you're literally turning your body facing one way, then turning your body facing another way on opposite legs. And you get that from these warm-ups that you're doing. Like, so do you teach that kind of stuff in these conditioning classes?
That's basically what I focus on that explosiveness, changing direction, different footwork, and I mean, because we cannot only just focus on throwing, choking, armbar, back, take, back. You cannot only just focus on that. You need to build your endurance, your stability, your muscle control, everything.
I think a lot of people, when they join something like this is their only physical activity.
Yeah,
it is.
And some people don't, in the beginning, may not take that extra step outside.
Oh, yeah.
Well, for me right now, this is basically my only physical thing is training jiu-jitsu, but I try to train it the best I can. But unfortunately in jiu-jitsu, and probably in judo too, the more skills you get, the easier the time you can train is.
Oh, 100%.
Because when I first started, I was a white belt, fighting, and I was losing weight like crazy. Yeah. But as I progressed in skill, I can sit down on people and almost always end up in the position I want to without a lot of effort. So I've been lazy in that, and I've gained weight back. So now I want to get back into training more, but I don't want to train without purpose. Like this dude just lifts weights to lift weights like a Neanderthal. Every once in a while, but every once in a while you're doing other things to help you with jiu-jitsu. Yeah. I want to focus my next version of workouts on the sport.
Well, all my lifting is specifically to help with injuries because I'm.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Okay, I'll give you that. I was about to.
My knees are bad and so lifting in general just helps strengthen those tendons.
Yeah.
So that's like my thing.
I'll give you that.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, but I do more like you have that super cool fucking pushy thing that would definitely help your fucking endurance, and you don't use it.
Sucks. The sled.
Yeah. Oh. He's got like the baddest sled you could buy. It's like the coolest one you could possibly get. You go into. We normally film this in his garage. Don't let him lie to you. All of his fitness equipment's got dust on it, dog. That pushy thing's full of dust.
That pushy thing might be full of dust.
And I think the best exercise machine you can get is the rower, man. That's the
He's got a rower. Guess what?
I don't really like
it's folded up, covered in dust.
I like the assault bike.
The assault bike's dope.
Yeah.
I can't.
The rower is.
You don't like the assault bike?
No.
The assault bike is just harder. It's way harder than the rower.
Dude, when you start going on a rower, it's rough.
It is.
Yeah.
But the assault bike is just like the harder you go, it just gets worse.
But you know what? Let's go back to like purpose training. It's like the assault bike maybe it could help you with punching because you're moving your arms.
No,
but the rowing's like a giant pulling motion, right?
Yeah,
to create
like
Kazushi.
So you know, like on that class, for example, that I do on Tuesday, the fitness class. I mean, it's not. People do the fitness exercise and they do different things and they go running and they go doing jumping jacks and they go doing jump rope, but there's no purpose behind it. There's absolutely no purpose behind it. So you have to do something with a purpose behind it, and especially when you have like new students or students that are trying to compete at a higher level. Not every student is going to be able to do the fitness class.
Yeah.
Not every student is going to be able to do judo. Not every student is going to be able to do jiu-jitsu. They're going to find it too complicated, too confusing, too complex.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
No matter what they say.
It's available for everybody. It's available, but
it's for anybody, but it's not for everybody.
There you go. I like that.
I didn't come up with that. I stole that from somewhere. Fuck, that just made me lose my train of thought.
That's why you see such a high turnover.
Yeah, that's a high turnover, but I think that fitness class is important. Did you come up with that by yourself, or is that something you learned at Kodokan, or did you learn that afterwards?
Well, you know, going back to when I trained at the Kodokan, it was not a 1 hour class. It was a 3 hour class.
And did you guys do like the traditional Bruto Judo warm-up where it's just fucking...
That's basically it.
So that's like the most exercise I do every week, and it's funny. So I actually met Sensei James here I met James through internet.
I remember.
But I met him here at your school at Open Mat.
I remember.
And he invited me to come train with him on Saturdays. And I started, and I already knew that because I trained judo before that, so I understood there was a warm-up. And it was not an easy warm-up. They don't do an easy warm-up there. But I started training with James, and he's just breaking out 100 push-ups. And I'm like, I can't do 100 push-ups. And he's counting in Japanese, which it's fun because of the tradition of it, but it does something for you. It makes you think while you're under stress. Because I can count in English all day under stress. It's my whole life. But can you count in another language while you're stressed out? And it makes you think about the technique. And so it's like being stuck under somebody. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's like the purpose of a comp.
That's
like the purpose of a comp class, right? Is you go until you're exhausted and you keep going.
Exactly.
Because now you have to rely on skill and like when you're absolutely toasted and you have nothing left. How much further can you push yourself?
So this is what my sensei used to say whenever we used to train before in Japan. He said, "Are you guys tired?" And well, nobody can answer, so yeah, we freaking dead tired. So okay, now you guys are gonna do uchikomis.
Now you're gonna learn the technique.
So now you're gonna learn the technique because anytime you're doing something and you're fully energized,
it's easy.
You're gonna learn it.
Yeah.
So we do warm-ups, running, doing like pulls, like dragging with the gi, you name it, all kinds of crazy exercise that I don't even remember what we did anymore. But we do all kinds of exercises, and our gis are just an extra 20 pounds just full of sweat.
Yeah.
And then we start drilling, because the mentality was, if you're doing these drills, or if you're fighting, if you're doing the rounds, and you have all your energy, then you're gonna be relying on your strength. No technique.
Right.
But if you are tired and exhausted and your brain is just done, then you really rely on technique, which goes to my sensei used to tell me all the time, like, train with girls. Train with girls. And I'm like, why would I train with girls? They're not
use your strength.
Right? They're not as strong as I am. Yeah, that's why I train with girls. The dexterity level is much better. So when you try to throw a girl, it's like
throwing cats.
Yeah, it's like
they're not stiff.
Yeah, they're not stiff. So then when you try to throw them, it's like that slinky, the slime.
Bend,
like that slime, like and you're trying to throw and they're still like on your back, and then you try to roll to throw them, and you can never get a full point. So it helps you use your your brain and your technique correctly.
Yeah, there's so much more I want to talk about, but we're kind of running out of time here. I wanted to say this, in public in front of everybody. If you're in the Inland Empire area, Riverside, Norco, Corona, Eastvale, come train with Juan. I've trained with you 4 or 5 times, and every time I've trained with you, I've walked away with something that made a difference in what I do. It's not just like, because I've actually never even taken a class with you. It's just been open mats, but you've been gracious enough to allow us to come to these open mats and then see what we're doing wrong and say, hey, try that. Train with me. Let me show you what you're doing wrong and how you're moving. Like, you move in a unique way that I've never felt. You grip in a unique way that I've never felt. You do all these things, and I've been trying to emulate that as I roll. Same thing with Sensei James. Everybody I've trained with in judo. But, like, you say something, and you're not just saying it to say it.
Purpose.
There's a purpose behind it, and the way you change grips, the way you do all these things, it makes a huge difference, and I think it just shows to the level that you're teaching at. And everybody I've trained with from your academy, they're all great. Nobody's trash in here. And, I have a tremendous amount of respect for where I started judo at, but those dudes at the level that they're going other places and they're giving their ranks away because they know they're not at the level of someone that can teach like you. That's a huge thing. Not every jiu-jitsu school is great. Like, you might go to this jiu-jitsu school that's got amazing comp class, and a lot of times it's by happenstance.
Yeah.
But when you train at a place like this, it may not be the best competitor school in the world, but everybody here is at such a high level. Your lower belts, your higher belts, everyone's so good that just speaks to how good of an instructor you are. And if you're in this area, take the opportunity to come.
Appreciate it. Yes.
And different from jiu-jitsu because of the tenets and the way that judo teaches, judo will change your life. If you're not training judo, you need to be training judo.
Yeah.
Right? Just add it to your tools. Maybe it's 1 day a month. But what this does is it's so important for your life, for your ability to practice a sport. And if most of the people that probably watch this are jiu-jitsu people, if you don't know how to stand up, if you're wearing a shirt like John, better pull guard, stop.
I wore this on purpose.
Yeah, you wore it on purpose. But this is going to help your jiu-jitsu game. Go find a judo school near you and train as much as you can. If you can only make it 1 day a month, hopefully you get to a school where that 1 day a month helps. Like, I've trained with Juan basically 1 day a month. Everything he showed me has changed my jiu-jitsu game. Like, right now, my whole gripping game has changed off of one thing you told me, because I broke your finger. After he beat me up, I don't remember which order it happened in. I know I left with a black eye and a cut on my eye. You left with a broken finger, so we're equal.
We're equal, yeah. We even.
But that day, you were showing different gripping things, and it's changed. In the last 1 or 2 times I trained with James, too, the same thing. He's showing these different gripping techniques, and it's changed my game to where I can nullify most people standing up. Like I talked about Misa earlier. Misa's got this crazy standing game, but he's one of the strongest people I've ever met. And this dude, he knows the technique, like, let's say 50%, but he's so strong, it's enough. He's blasting you. He's blasting everybody with throws. But he was showing me the throw, and he started, like, basically getting ready to throw me. And I was like, all right, well, let me start moving with you. And I started using the gripping things you showed me, and he couldn't even get to the position to throw. These gripping things are nullifying the throws. It's so important to learn how to grip.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
What do you think gripping percentage-wise is a part of the game? Like, do you think it's a 50% of the part of the game? It's 80% of the part of the game?
No, I personally don't think you can break it apart.
Okay.
It's like it's 100% gripping, 100% footwork. You cannot break it apart because everything has to come in order. Like, you cannot throw without grips. You cannot choke without a grip. You cannot get an armbar without a grip. So everything has to be included with the grip.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can separate gripping from anything else. It's got to be in its own world. Footwork has got to be in its own world. Your ground game has to be in its own world. Passing guard everything has to be in its own world.
So when you're teaching your students, are you saying we're going to focus on gripping today, or here's the way you grip to get to these throws? Because your students have crazy grips.
Yes.
Like and their grips are very unique in the way that yours are. Like we talked about this, and I've been trying to put this into my game. When we've done Randori a couple times, you move in such a unique way that one, I can't tell what you're doing, but the way that you grip, I cannot tell what you're doing. It's like you're magic. Like you're here, then I'm throwing.
No, they go together.
Yeah.
So you grip correctly, you move correctly, then everything kind of sinks in. So there's a whole game on how to grip, how to move with the grips, and how to change your grips. Yeah. It's a whole tactics of it.
Well, I think we'll definitely have to have you back on because I feel like as long as we've been talking, I still feel like there's so much more to talk about.
Oh man,
there's just so much. So
You have a question for him before we jump? Anything you wanted to know?
Why
you're afraid to get thrown?
I love
Why do you pull guard?
Just if you had one thing to say to people about why they should train here and why they should train judo, what would it be?
I don't think I think he's too humble to say why you should train here. So why should you train judo?
So judo in itself, it'll help you not only physically and mentally, and it'll get you ready for really acting, or it will get you prepared to come up with solutions when you find yourself in a hard situation that you can make a decision. So like what we're talking about, the gripping and the movement and all that stuff. So training judo will help you understand that you cannot rely on strength, you cannot rely on speed, you cannot rely on weight and all that stuff. It all comes down to specific use of strength, specific use of technique, specific use of power, specific use of all the elements that you have. So that's what judo is all about. You need to understand. It will help you understand how to use all these things correctly to be effective, which is the whole maximum efficiency, minimum effort. So you can be strong and not know how to use your strength. You can be fast and not know how to use your speed, so on and so on. So that's what judo is all about. It'll help you understand how to use your body and your strength and your speed and your footwork and your grip correctly.
Yeah.
So
I think that's it. I want to thank you, Sensei, for having us in your studio, taking time on a Sunday to come hang out with us. Yeah. Like I said, we have to do it again just to talk more in depth about judo and probably maybe more techniques and even tell your story further. Because I mean, training here changes things. Like one sentence that you say, it changes, and that's hard to find. Yeah. There's not everybody teaching at that level, and I think the opportunity to learn from someone like him is huge for you.
Yeah, so make sure you guys like it, follow. We'll put your links and your address for all this stuff down below. So if you guys are in the area, if you guys live around here, if you're traveling, I'm sure he doesn't mind drop-ins. Come check it out.
More than welcome. More than welcome.
That's all I got.
Peace.
No os.